going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be watching and reacting to three separate videos. We're going to be watching Aztecross talk about this game feels different. He's talking about Soulframe, so we're going to watch that. We're going to watch a video from Legendary Drops called Larian is the Enemy Now. So we're going to watch that. And then we're also going to watch Laura Fryer talking about I was wrong about the ethical AI in games. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We cover news stories, watch videos, give you my thoughts and opinions. If you guys like that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. What's going on, chat? Let me see who's all here. What's going on, Travis? What's going on, Eclipse? Sarge? Jason, good morning. Altern, good morning. Let's see. Astref, what's going on? Waterbear, what's going on? El Dente, good morning. Roic, what's going on? Robert Jones. Who am I missing? Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Wonder Rose, good morning. Mr. Luke, good morning. Mr. Z, good morning. The Cisco, what's going on? Good morning. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I had a very painful weekend. I've been doing a lot of work. I laid some floors down this weekend. My back, my arms, my knees. I ain't young anymore. I couldn't move. I was like incapacitated. What was it? Saturday night. I could not move. I was like, my hands are still swollen from doing all the floors and stuff. But you know what? It looks amazing. What's going on, Drummond? It looks amazing. I showed a picture inside the actual Discord, so if you guys saw it. All right, so on today's show, we have lots to talk about because lots of videos. We got a 9-minute video, we got a 26-minute long video, and we have a 11-minute long video. So that should fill in the gap. Jack says, well, hold on a second. Where'd it go? Says, I will not be here the last show, but I do want to say thank you to you and Sarge for the great content. You're number one on my list. See you next year. I appreciate that, Jack. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. We're done with the podcast this month, so we're off this week. I only have today's show, tonight's stream for video games, and then Tuesday's morning show, and then I'm done for the week because of Christmas. So, and then we'll be back. We'll be back next week on the Monday. What is that? The 26th, 27th, 28th, the 30th, 29th, 30th. So we'll be back on Monday as normal, but we'll be done. We'll be back for GXG on the 1st. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Let's see here. All right. Let's start off. Do you guys want to talk about AI first? There's a lot. The two videos are about AI, right? We have Laura Fryer's AI video, and then we have Legendary Drops video. Or do you want to watch and talk about Soulframe first? You let me know, chat. We'll let you guys decide what's going on here. If you hear my son in the background, he's home, of course, because of the holiday. I didn't play very many games this week. Oh, Altern, I know you have Wayfinder, right? Wayfinder is still co-op, right? It's still online co-op. I started playing that again last night. I'm like a level 7. I'm a little confused on what to do in the game, but if anybody has Wayfinder, I might play that tonight if we're not playing with Aku with Lord of the Rings. But if anyone's interested in playing Wayfinder co-op, let me know. If not, I'll just play it off stream. Mr. Z says Fryer. Okay, we can start off with Fryer. If we go to Fryer, then I think we'll watch Larian, then we'll watch Soulframe last then. If that's what we do. Eclipse says, I have Wayfinder, please play it. Is it cross-play and stuff? It is, right? Still co-op? All right. Well, if we don't play Lord of the Rings Return of Moria tonight with Aku, then maybe I'll play that instead. Roic says it is. I love that game. Yeah, I would Travis says Snoreframe. All right, so maybe we'll play that tonight if we don't play the Lord of the Rings one. Soulframe is fire? All right, well, I figured, Waterberry, you posted the video, and I was like, you know what, let me watch it. Let's watch it on stream. But we'll start off with Laura Fryer. We like her videos. All the links are in the description down below, okay? Mo says, Mike, you should try Path of Exile 2. It's amazing. I played Path of Exile 2. Mo, like, you just came in. Like, I got it last year when it came out. When it came out in early access. Mo is addicted, man. He's like, shoot me up right in the vein. Shoot me up. He is on the Path of Exile 2 bandwagon right now. Holy Christ. I've never seen Mo like this. He's like a salesman for him. Like, we literally played it on stream and stuff, Mo. Like, I'm going to go back and play the Druid. I wanted to play the Druid. All right, let's go to the first video. Can I just say, I have not played. I think I played, and that's not true. I played it. I think I've played maybe 3 matches in the last 3 weeks of Arc Raiders. And this is not to say that I've lost interest in Arc Raiders in any way, shape, or form. It's just that I haven't really been playing a lot of games lately. I've been playing the game of life right now. But the reason I'm bringing it up is, has anybody else fallen off as much as me? Right? I know Sweat Dog. Oh, it reminds me, I forgot to go live on Twitch. There you go. I know Sweat Dog also hasn't played it. I don't know if Mr. Luke has played it in the last couple weeks, but I just kind of just stopped, right? I mean, again, I have like 60 hours in the game. Mr. Luke says it fell off. Yeah. Well, one, we haven't been playing, Mr. Luke, and obviously that's my schedule and your schedule and stuff. We'll get back to that. Elton says I played last night to get my 1,000 coins. Oh, is coins for 1,000, or is it something else? Like, is there something to log in for? Yeah, because of work and life. Exactly right. You're playing more? Just updating it. I just reset my expedition. Grind all over again, but this time, no rush for me. Do you feel, Breezy, that the grind was worth the reset and go back and do it again? Like, if you put in, let's say, I don't know how many hours you put in, Breezy. Did you put in 100 hours to do the expedition and stuff like that, and then now you're resetting? Waterbear says, I played good games regardless of free-to-play or full-price games. Although it says, I logged in before January 10th to get 1,000 store coins for free. I gotcha. Cool. I've fallen off, but not due to lack of interest. Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I fell off, but it wasn't because I'm not interested in the game. Like, I want to go and play. I just haven't. Not for the 5 skill points. Steam says 255 hours. So 255 hours. You got the 5 skill points, but not for the 5 skill points, but you're okay losing all the blueprints and stuff like that. Luke says, I need that light bulb. I still need 4 light bulbs. I still need 4 light bulbs from 3 weeks ago because I still haven't done it. I know Brainchild said he would give me the light bulbs, but it's not even that. I'll be honest with you. Even if I get the light bulbs, I don't know if I'm going to reset the expedition. So they need to add more because of right now, not really worth it in the reset. Yeah, that's what I figured. First time since November. Yeah, I haven't. Like I said, I think I've logged in 3 times. I played with Dolphin one night, and that was like late November, early December. And then I've done a couple, maybe 2 times. I saw the snowboard. It kind of makes me want to play Division Survivor. You guys remember the first mode, like back in 2016 or whatever? Like, when I was going from building to building, I was like, oh, man, this brings back Division 1 vibes. All right, let me get started here because we're supposed to watch a video. We're supposed to watch a video.
Here's a feeling I bet a lot of us in creative work have had. You see a new tool come out, something cool, Like maybe a scripted bot that automatically tests every cover spot in a shooter, like we built for Gears, or a procedural generator that builds levels.
Yeah, the whole AI thing that's happening right now, the talk that's happening the last, like, I don't know, week, 2 weeks, actually really the last couple months about AI. We've talked about it in this chat before about AI is the new organic term. AI is the new global warming, climate change. Like, that's what AI is, right? They've used the term AI, even though people have been using AI for decades. But now they've drawn the line of, right? Now they become the moral high ground of, well, if this game's using it, then I'm not supporting this game, even though basically every game that's using generative AI frame rates, to make it feel like it's 60 frames per second is all using AI. But let's not bring that into the conversation.
Overnight, or an early playthrough harness that hunts bugs while you sleep. And one part of your brain immediately goes, that could save us months worth of work. It lets us focus on the fun stuff, the polish, the quality that gamers want. But almost instantly, another part of you recoils because it feels off, cheap, as if something that should stay human just got handed to a machine. And the louder someone says, but it's ethical, it's just accelerating.
What's ethical? We're not slaughtering animals here. You're making video games. It's zeros and ones, right? Zeros and ones.
Yes. The more some people dig in and push back. I felt that exact pushback in my own comments a couple weeks.
I wonder if the same people that are against video games are the same people that are okay with AI making movies and television shows. Because I remember there's a couple of you in the channel that when we talked about how AI is coming along and going to make movies, and then I was talking about how people said that they're directors now and they're making movies. No, you're not. The AI is making it. It's just that, right? But I said the customers don't care, right? Majority of the customers don't care how the sausage is made. They just know the sausage is good, right? Very few people want the the ethics of, well, did they slaughter the pig, the correct way, humane way, and stuff like that. Other people are just like, I'll have the sausage link. I'll have 2 of those, right? They really don't care.
Ago on Arc Raiders. I praise their consented royalty paid AI callouts as done right, and you disagreed. And today I'm going to own that I was wrong about how hot this room really is. And I'm going to walk through why this feeling runs so deep using a simple way to think about
What did she say before that she's admitting that she's wrong? I don't remember. We watched the video, but I don't remember her.
it that I call the trust trap. Let's use Arc Raiders as the perfect example. It launched October 30th and sold 7 million copies.
You know what you should be worried about? Games like Days Gone. Wait, was that what it was called? No, the day before, not Days Gone. My apologies for Days Gone. The day before. That was slop, right? That was fake. That was something being pushed across because of the way the gaming can be done so quick now with the Unreal Engine and asset flips and stuff like that, right? The day before is what you should be aware of, not what Arc Raiders is doing or what Larian did or what Expedition 33 did.
In 37 days. It was Nexon's biggest hit ever and Google's #1 trending game of 2025. The team consists of about 300 people with ex-DICE vets, and they're running 2 live games. I praise their consented royalty-paid text-to-speech work as ethical efficiency done right. Eurogamer, however, docked it heavily over artistic integrity. And at the Game Awards, Arc Raiders won Best Multiplayer, beating heavyweights like Elden Ring and Battlefield 6. But the poll I ran
Battlefield 6 is not going to be winning anything.
With you
besides sound design, only because Arc Raiders wasn't there.
In the community tab, and the comments under it push back hard on production choices that included a...
Should game reviewers critique how a game is made, AI use, engine choice, team size, budget, etc., or only judge the final product? Just the game. Production choice are fair game. No. Here's where I disagree with this. Okay? Just the game, please. Just the game, please. You are reviewer of game. You are not a reviewer of how companies make the game. I don't care if the company had 100 people, had 10,000 people, or 5 people making the game, okay? Just the game. That's it. Just the game. You play the game, you review the game, you tell me how the game is. I don't care, okay? Depends, explain in comments, 16%, right? Like, what are we talking about? You review games. I'm a game reviewer. You review the game, not the ethics of how the game is made. Are they doing overtime? Is there a crunch? I don't care about any of that. I want to know if the game is good or not, period.
AI. 37% said just the game, please. 47% said production choices are fair game. And 16% said it depends. Not only is it fair game, it's important to know where they land on.
Yeah, think about that, Jason, what you just said there, right? Right? Jason says, remember 30, we're supposed to hate Hogwarts Legacy just because of J.K. Rowling's, right? I liked the game because of what the game was. I didn't hate the game because of something that didn't have to do with the game. Right? I don't understand any of this. I don't understand how people, right? Like, oh man, this apple tastes fantastic. Wait a minute. Does this apple taste fantastic? What did the company do? How's their overtime? Did they use people, legally to pick these apples? Right? Like, I get that you don't want to pay for something and be like, hey, I don't agree with this, so I'm not going to buy these apples. Or I'm not going to buy this game because I don't like what they're doing to the employees. But to knock down video game scores because of what the organization's doing, like, you people need to get your shit together, okay? Review the game for the game, not buy something because you disagree with something totally separate than the actual thing itself. Like, it's so ridiculous.
A spectrum. Just the game, if no.
Like, I say this all the time. I don't like Bungie. I don't like Bungie. So I'm not purchasing anything from Bungie. I don't say their games suck, right? I love Destiny, right? I don't like the company. So I'm not purchasing from the company. I don't tell you that Destiny sucks because of, right? I was very passionate about Destiny and what they could change and what they could fix. Passionate, giving constructive criticism. Right? I didn't deduct them points because of their shitty money situation and their upper management and everything else that was wrong with the company.
Ethical issues. But if a company is violating labor laws, it's fair to call attention to that. I don't just want to know if the sausage is tasty. I also want to know that the sausage is made in a way that doesn't make me feel bad.
As a customer, I don't just want to know if the sausage is tasty. I also want to know if the sausage is made in a way that doesn't make me feel bad. Make me feel bad. What, like gassy? Simple as that. These two things are separate. A tasty sausage and how they make the sausage are two different things. If you disagree on how they make the sausage and it makes the sausage taste bad for you, great. But is the sausage good? Eat the sausage and go, you know what? This is the best sausage I've ever had, but I don't like the way it's made. So I'm not going to eat sausage. Like, what are we talking about?
Simple as that. The split is clear. Production matters to most of you when ethics or quality.
You think that's an AI voice of her? I'm confused, Roadkill. You can't stand her voice. Is that AI voice or her voice? That's her voice. She's on screen right now. That's her voice.
Are on the line. Even a best multiplayer winner like ARK using ethical AI is going to get this scrutiny. I thought the room was cooler on this issue. I was wrong. That's why today we're unpacking the trust trap, a simple 3-layer way to see why production choices hit so many nerves, even when they're done right. Let's start with the easy stuff nobody's going to defend. If a studio shipped a game tomorrow and bragged, yeah, we used child labor, or we scraped every single
That's completely different, right?
artist on ArtStation without permission or a dime in royalties, we'd all reach for the torches.
100%. 100%.
Same if the credits rolled and it was revealed.
But guess what? Guess what? If the video game was made with child labor and all the other stuff, if someone played that game and said, wow, this game's really good, it's too bad they use child labor. Do you know what I mean? You could still say that this game was fantastic and also disagree on how the game was created, but not deduct or judge the game based on what the company did.
That it was one guy and a server rack that replaced an entire voice cast overnight. That's the cartoon villain extreme. Nobody's arguing for that. Not me, not Embark. We all agree that's garbage. The fight isn't there. The fight is in the gray middle. And that's where the real conversation lives. Layer 1 of the trust trap is the part we almost all agree on, the desire. We've always wanted helpers that'll take the busy work, the boring stuff off our plates, so we can create more freely. So
you know what I want AI for? Laying floor. Yeah. So next time I don't have to lay floor. Bring on the AI robot that can lay floor down. Because let me tell you, I would not be upset that the robot could lay floor and I'm out of the job.
We can focus on fun and polish, the things that gamers really care about. That's why we had scripted bots on Gears that
I can't walk on this floor. AI put this floor down. I can't walk on this floor.
Tested every cover point overnight. That's why people made procedural generators building level variants while they were sleeping. And the Drivatars in Forza, the ghosts of real players.
Yeah, here's another thing, right? You have NPCs that have been in video games that were created by AI, right? You have ones that act differently than other things. That's AI, right? You have the car avatar that can drive when you're not playing. It has your friends and the AIs are doing it, right? You have a whole bunch of AI stuff. AI has been in video games for, I don't know, about a decade, maybe even 15 years that they've been using. You've been using AI pretty much every day of your life, right? Autocorrect, looking up stuff, algorithms, YouTube, all these things use AI in some way, shape, or form. So some almighty person's going to come out and be like, I don't like AI, but yet uses all these things. Shut the fuck up.
From consented telemetry, they were brilliant. These tools saved months of time and they let us make better games. And the vision went even further. In 1995, I worked on Microsoft Bob. We built a cartoon dog named Rover who greeted you by name, remembered your preferences, and guided you through your PC like a friend.
I don't remember this. Maybe I do, actually.
Stanford research showed we're wired to treat computers like people. We talk to them, we apologize to them. It's how we communicate. We want a true...
Mr. Z says 30, bring up the AI to answer your stupid chat questions.
Conversational helper, something that understands us, anticipates our needs, feels natural.
Yeah, Clippy, the paper clip. Yeah.
Didn't have the ability back in the day with Microsoft Bob to fully realize it, but he didn't go away. The idea morphed into Clippy, that little paper clip that would pop up offering...
Sarge says this is not about AI. This is about a smaller studio slapping AAA in the face and changing the narrative.
Help. And he ended up annoying the hell out of everyone. People hated him so much, he became the punchline for bad AI. But look at him now.
There he is.
Clippy avatars.
There he is, Mr. Luke. There's Mr. Clippy for you.
Everywhere again. Because it's a protest. People change their pictures to Clippy to push back against big tech's data harvesting, forced subscriptions, and AI trained on stuff they never consented to. Clippy has now become this symbol. Even though he was so annoying back then, he never spied on you or sold your data. And it's so funny to see a helper with good intentions that we killed by bad execution now getting resurrected as a middle finger to the real villains.
Right.
Our creators' callouts are just one small piece of the same dream. Helpers and tools that accelerate us, and we want them to feel human. That desire is universal. It's been there since 1995. It isn't going anywhere. We're finally getting close to realizing it. The trap, though, starts when that desire runs into the next two layers. Look, humans have always built on humans. Plutarch writes biographies, and 2,000 years later, leaders still quote him.
And the game of the year is... Mon ami Clair Obscur, Expédition 33!
at this point, I think people are just tired of hearing Expedition 33, right? There's always the people that if there's something good, they don't like it, right? They just love to hate it now. So if everyone goes left, they go right, right? That's what it is, right? So because they're winning everything, everyone's like, you know what? It wasn't really that good. It wasn't really that good. But it was. It was that good, right? It completely threw the narrative under the bus. The narrative was that video games are getting too expensive. You just can't make video games the way they were in the past. You have to charge $80. You have to have 10,000 people make a video game. You have to have microtransactions. You have to have all of these things. Okay? You have to have all these things. And then this comes out, wins all the awards, right? Arc Raiders comes out, and Pal World comes out, and Helldivers comes out, and it completely destroys the narrative of what the AAA gaming industry wants you to believe.
And I'll extend a personal thank you to an important man in my life, Mr. Hironobu Sakaguchi, who made me fall in love with games and inspired me to become a game dev. So thank you, Mr. Sakaguchi.
Final Fantasy directly inspired their...
Let's just say for one instance that Expedition 33 did use AI for the final product. Okay. And it was like what? 4%, 5%, 10% of the game. Okay. What then, right? 90% of the game is made by hand, but 10% wasn't. Let's just say, I'm just putting it out there. Okay. All of a sudden, the whole game, because of the 10%, destroys the rest of the 90% of the game. Like, what are we talking about?
work. That's inspiration, and that is how creativity works. It's a creative dialogue across decades. Creators thanking creators, openly building on that inspiration.
Ashraf says Arrowhead is greedy as fuck, though. How is Arrowhead greedy as fuck? Because they're charging for war bonds that you can earn in the game? I literally have purchased $0 in Helldivers, Ashraf, and I have 9 war bonds unlocked. Right? That is not greedy as fuck. I think you're taking your anger towards the wrong company. There's plenty of other companies out there that are greedy as fuck, and Arrowhead is not one of them.
Make something new. AI can do exactly the same thing. It can train on vast human knowledge, and it can make something new. That leads me to believe that the problem isn't the mechanism.
When it's not a human mind that is acquiring that information, but AI. And
Comedy Sarah Silverman sues Meta at OpenAI for copyright infringement. Oh, because it's like learning off of whatever she was doing?
Specifically AI for profit. That's what this lawsuit is about. The argument here is that, hey, Meta's essentially, at least allegedly admitted, that it got its information from another source. That source's company admits it got it.
We start out trusting that these powerful tools will be good for us, useful, accelerating, and respectful of the humans that made the data possible. Then companies like Meta betray that trust with secret scraping and no consent. The betrayal breaks the trust for everyone, even the small teams doing it right. So that's layer 2, the feeling of betrayal that shatters the trust we need for layer 1, the desire to thrive.
I played 130 hours and made enough super credits for 1 war bond. People say just lower the difficulty and grind. That's the coping mechanism. I don't understand what you're saying right now. They're literally the only game company that you can earn all the currency in the game. I've made $90 worth of going in and playing the game. You don't have to buy the war bonds. You could just play the game as it is. Right? And if you want to get the stuff, then you can just get the stuff. It's not a coping mechanism. It's what's in there. It's about time played in the actual game. Like, you can literally just decide. You're like, I want to play Helldivers. And you're like, oh, there's a war bond. I really want that thing. Well, then you could pay $10, right? You can pay $10, or you can go farm for credits. Like, I don't understand. Like, you're arguing that they're the greedy, but yet you're okay with EA. You're okay with the Call of Duty. You're okay with I don't know, Marvel Rivals charging $25 for a skin. To say Arrowhead is greedy, but all these other companies are fine. It's just weird, especially since Arrowhead and Helldivers is one of the only games that you can earn the currency in the game to get the stuff. Here, you know what? I'm going to look up. I don't even know how many hours I have. Let me see how many hours I have. I have 9 war bonds unlocked. 9. Let me look it up real fast. I have 9 war bonds unlocked, and I don't know how many hours I have in it. I have to look it up. Let me see. Let's see. Helldivers. Let me look it up. Helldivers. If I can't look it up here, then I have to... Helldivers 2. Go all the way to the bottom. Okay, what do I have for stats? They don't give me my stats here. All right, so I'm gonna have to turn on my Xbox. I'm gonna look how many hours I have in the game, just so I can make a good comparison to what you have. Okay, let's see. Helldivers. Game card. Official club. Progress. I have 9 days inside of 9 days. Okay, 9 days, and that's not just on Xbox. So 9 times 24. I have 216 hours. I have 9, almost 10 war bonds unlocked. I'm level 60. I think I just turned to 70, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or maybe it's 60. I think I just hit level 60, right? To say that they're the greedy company compared to everybody else is just weird, Astraf. I'm not okay with EA or Activision or Marvel Rivals either. I just happened out of the 4, I only played Helldivers 2. It's a $40 game. A $40 game where you don't have to purchase anything if you don't want to. And you can earn all the currency inside the game, but they're the greedy company. It's just weird. It just comes across weird.
When we add layer 3, the gray middle, you'll see exactly how the trap snaps shut. We have the universal desire for helpful tools that feel human. At the same time, we have the justified anger at the feeling of betrayal that breaks trust. Put them together and you get the gray. Even when a team does everything right, the poison trust lingers. Arc Raiders.
I think she's talking to Astraf right now, right? The trust is broken, and that's why Astraf thinks Helldivers is a greedy company.
Is the perfect example. Consented actors, royalties paid, full transparency. They still got docked by critics. They still got pushback in polls and in comments. Eurogamer's 40-point hit wasn't about labor violations or stolen data. It was just the feeling that AI voices were wrong. Larian Studios, the Baldur's Gate heroes, admit using generative AI for concepts and PowerPoint.
And they're getting draped through the coals right now, even though it was for concept art that wasn't in the official, that wasn't put into the game. And they're actually hiring more concept artists. But there's another problem. Right? This is another problem. Jason Schreier came out and said that he put the full transcript out. Why didn't you put the full transcript in your actual article instead of waiting for everyone to shit on Larian Studios? This is why people don't like the media.
And immediately the backlash explodes on social media. Even Sven, the CEO, clarifying, didn't stop the boycott calls. That's the gray. The betrayal vibe from big companies sticks to the small ethical projects too.
No, I probably
Players
didn't.
want the
I don't
tech,
remember seeing
but
it.
they don't fully trust it yet because the well has been poisoned. And until the industry as a whole,
This weekend I was out.
cleans
I was
up this
doing a lot of
feeling
work.
betrayal with real consent, real compensation, real transparency across the board, we stay stuck in this gray middle. Good teams get punished for the sins of the bad ones. That's the full trust trap. Desire we all share, feelings of betrayal that shatters trust, and the gray middle where even the best efforts can't fully escape.
Mr. G says, any monetization other than paying for the game, I guess, should never be in the game. That's throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
The stink. Now that we see how the trust trap works, how do we break out of this pattern? Here's a real-world playbook that I think could work to rebuild trust. First, you need radical transparency. We need to tell people up front exactly.
Larian Studios did that, right? Larian Studios said it up front, and yet people are still shitting on them left and right.
Where and how.
Why? Because Larian Studios was an independent developer, even though they spent hundreds of millions of dollars on the game, is an independent developer, and it broke the narrative of what the AAA industry was trying to do.
The tool is used. We need consent and fair compensation or nothing. Every human.
Oh, and by the way, they also priced that game at a good price. And even with the collector's edition, for $80, you got a whole bunch of other shit on top of the game, on top of that.
Whose work feeds the helper gets asked and paid. Royalties, credits, whatever it takes. The genie's already out of the bottle. Models already trained on scrape data. But the fix starts here and now. Consent and compensation going forward.
It's like someone getting upset, even though this is not AI, but someone drawing with a pencil or with paint, or someone drawing on a tablet, right? Well, you're not a real artist because you didn't buy the paint, right? You didn't really use a pencil. You were just using a stylus on a screen, and it has all, so that just takes all the artistry out of it, because if you make a mistake, you can just delete it, right? Where artists have to actually paint and stuff like that, right? So it's like, where do you go from that? It's like people were used to just draw or chisel something, and now they can make 3D prints of stuff, and now they can do all of this other stuff not made by human anymore. Sure, I'm still drawing on the thing, but if I make a mistake, I can just delete it. Okay? Instead of taking oil painting and, oh, that's screwed up there, right? Like, people right now are just, it's like a gag reflex. Someone says AI and they're like, ugh, right? It's like this gag reflex of everything is bad because it's AI. Everything.
Number 3, human judgment in the final pass. The helper accelerates, never replaces. And finally, 4, listen to the room, your customers. Build in feedback loops with your fans. Big corporations like Meta may ignore it, but smaller teams and indies win trust by listening. Users spot sincerity quicker than any critic, and they will reward it with loyalty. Do these consistently, and the gray starts to clear. The desire wins. Skip any, and you stay trapped. Good intentions or not. Look, I was wrong about how hot the room is on AI, but the desire for helpful human-like tools has been there since Bob, and it isn't going anywhere.
Right.
If we can follow.
Report reveal over 60% of game studios utilize AI. Uh-oh. What are you guys going to do? That's a big dilemma, isn't it? They all use AI. Oh, man. I guess they're not. I guess the people that don't like it are not going to play video games. Or they're full of shit and they're still going to play video games.
This real-world playbook, we can get out of the gray. Your choices as a user can reward the companies that follow the playbook and punish the ones that don't. And that is how we turn the trap into progress.
Right? Because people, the day before, right, they try to pull one over on the game industry. And everyone's fine with that. They're like, oh, it's the biggest wish list game of all time. Yet someone put a banner in with AI and they're like, this game's a fucking disgrace. Get out of here. All right, so links in the description down below. Laura Fryer's videos there. Since we watched that one, the next AI talking point here is with Larian Studios, right? And we have Legendary Drops talking about it in his video. So here we go with this one.
This is unreal. I'm doing my best to stay collected. It's taken a lot more effort than I thought that it would. I've been watching over the past couple of days as a section.
My daughter has a question. Will AI stop fan-made Star Wars films? Fans love to make content in their favorite franchises. Will Lucasfilm be like, only AI can create Star Wars-ish related content? Well, see, AI did something, or I should say Disney did something very interesting, Michelle and Little Beastie. They signed a deal with OpenAI. Right? Was it OpenAI or was it Sora? It was Sora AI, right? They decided to team up with them and paid $1 billion because what was happening was all the other, let's say 9 AI programs out there where everyone was creating Star Wars fan films and Disney Pixar films and all this other stuff, and Disney couldn't stop it. And they were all learning. They were all learning and feeding in the information. And the more people were doing it, the more it was training off of Disney's property. So Disney said, how do we stop this? We have to pick and choose somebody. So they chose the horse in the race, which was, I think it was Sora, right? Check me if I'm correct or wrong. I think it's Sora. I don't know if it's OpenAI or Sora, but one of them, they chose one of them for $1 billion. And they said that they're slowly going to, starting January, where you can start making Luke Skywalker, Iron Man, the Marvel properties, this or certain Disney princesses and stuff like that. Because it was Sora. Thank you. Okay, because they can now sue everybody else, and if anyone else uses it, they can keep track of that. And then now, fans that want to make Star Wars films, they can use the Sora because now it brings those people into there. They're not happy with what Disney was doing with Star Wars. So now these people are being able to, not outside the box, they are actually allowed to use the likenesses of these characters so they can start making their own Star Wars films. And then what Disney does in return says, well, we own that because you used it through this program that we paid $1 billion for. You're allowed to make the actual content for yourself and share it with people, which is advertisement for them, okay? And they can now, you're training it, so if they ever want to use it in the past, or in the future, I should say in the past, in the future, they can use what you did, your work, and it'll be fair game. Because that's what it is. It's easy for them, because now the people that want to screw Disney or want to be angry at Disney, they're like, I'm going to do it better. They do it better, and then Disney just takes their work, and they can use it later down the road. It's genius.
Of the internet has lost its collective mind over something that largely isn't even real. And I'm going to prove that to you guys. We have 2 studios, Larian Studios and Sandfall Entertainment, that up until just about 5 minutes ago were some of the most beloved studios in the industry, delivering 2 of the greatest games that we've seen in the past decade, that are now finding themselves being treated like they are enemies of the state.
Yeah, they're the worst possible. Like, out of all the video games that try to pull one over on you, these 2 games that won Game of the Year, right? 2 of the 3 years, right, are the worst.
Not because of some bad release, no bad monetization or anything like that, no layoffs. No, it's because a couple of articles came out, misleading articles, that revealed that these studios have been using generative AI in their early concept phases. Early ideation, brainstorming, placeholder assets, things of that nature. Or in the case of Larian, they will be experimenting with it in limited capacity. That's it. That's all it took to set off the internet in one of the most unhinged reactions that I think that I have probably ever seen, where immediately nuance just vanished and went straight out the window, and projection just solidified into, well, their own truth. Generative AI has been one of the biggest hot button issues. It is incredibly emotional.
If anyone's out there plants that flag in the ground and says, I don't like generative AI, if you've bought any of the games recently, especially on the Switch or the new PlayStation, where the technology of PlayStation itself uses generative AI to make frames that aren't actually there, well, then you're a hypocrite. So if you don't like generative AI, but you like these games that use generative AI to make frame rate, well, then you're a hypocrite, right? Because if you have a problem with generative AI for companies using it, and yet you're still using the actual system you're using on where it's making frames, well, then I can't listen to you because you're full of shit.
Emotionally charged. It makes a lot of sense why it is. It has its fingers in just about everything right now: art, labor, authorship, job security, infrastructure.
Exactly, Ray. And yet people accept Ray scamming. That's right.
Structure, the environment. It's just about everywhere.
Ashraf, thank you very much. Welcome to the Goonie Squad. Appreciate you. Not Game of the Year. It said the Indie Showcase. Yeah, they took him out of the Indie Showcase.
And it's a subject that I think a lot of people already walk into primed to be outraged. And when that outrage collides with very sloppy framing from games media and incomplete information, it really doesn't take a lot for this entire thing to just spin off the rails. And that's exactly what happened. So today, I want to talk about how that happened. I want to walk through all of that. I want to talk about how a misleading piece of journalism set off.
Misleading journalism? No, that doesn't happen, chat. The media is so good. They check their work, dot the I's, cross the T's, never use AI to write their articles.
The fuse when it comes to this entire thing, how games media just kind of piled on instead of slowing down to make sure all that information was true. And why so much of this outrage?
You know, those are two separate things, Nate. This is like a bad game of telephone. The Game Awards, they won. The Indie Awards show is a completely different show that's not linked to the Game Awards. These are two separate things that no one's taking their awards away.
Feels a lot less organic and a lot more manufactured. Today's video is sponsored by Displate, and there's a lot to be excited about right now. They're about to release their official Expedition 33 designs, which are either live right now or should...
Uh-oh. I hope these weren't used AI in making the Displates.
be live in the next couple of days, so definitely make sure to check those out. Displate has also been expanding their Path of Exile 2 collection, which I've already talked about, and yeah, I'm still struggling to be able to find wall space.
Awesome.
These prints look so incredible.
They're expensive, though. I can't afford them.
In person. If you've never tried out Displate before, they make premium metal posters.
You know what's funny to me? You know when you're in college, you can't afford picture frames, so you just put posters and stuff on your wall? Okay? Like, when you have money, you put actual, like, frames around your pictures. Do you know what I mean? In college, you can't. Now, the pictures are more than the actual frames. And you can get frames for these things, but these are expensive. Most people would just take a snapshot, go to Walgreens, print out a thing, and then just slap it on the wall.
That mount magnetically, no tools, no wall damage. You just stick a magnet to the wall and then snap the poster on. Setup takes seconds, and swapping them out is just as easy. They've got over 1 million designs: games, anime, movies, tech, original art, and that also includes limited edition drops that don't get restocked. And if you want something more personal, you can even upload your own
fear of missing out.
Images and use their custom Displate feature, perfect for gifts. Use code LEGENDARY at checkout, hit the link in the description, and check out what's new. Expedition 33 is on the way.
Wardhuff with the gifted membership. Appreciate you. Thank you very much.
The ground for this was already primed for drama long before AI ever even entered into the conversation. If you guys have been online, you've seen the resentment brewing around Expedition 33. In the days right after the Game Awards, there were a lot of people that were angry that their favorite games didn't win, so they started lashing out, calling it an Unreal Engine 5 asset flip, dismissing it as another white person game, and even accusing
another white person game
it of being backed by the IDF. What is wrong with these people? So when articles started dropping mentioning Larian's use of AI, it didn't really matter what was actually said. Blood was already in the water, and instead of slowing down, people just rushed in swinging. Now, much of this is being based off of a post from Kami where he had said, Larian CEO confirms that the studio is using generative AI to explore ideas, flesh out PowerPoint presentations, develop concept art, and write placeholder text. He said that there won't be any AI-generated content in Divinity. Everything is human actors. We write everything ourselves. That set off a cascade of increasingly unhinged reactions, retweets.
Larian, what do you mean by development concept art with AI? I trust y'all. Betrayal. Oh my goodness. These people are brain dead.
It's claiming no good ideas could ever come from AI-generated art. People insisting that Larian's statements were just a smokescreen for quietly getting rid of their concept artists. Others then doubled down, falsely claiming that Larian isn't even hiring concept artists anymore, and that the majority of the fans...
Larian literally, they bought a company, didn't they? About like concept artists. They made one or bought one recently.
Fan base hates AI, so they just need to get rid of what they're doing. And then the game of telephone really kicks in. Suddenly, the claim isn't experimentation or placeholders anymore. Now Larian is supposedly generating all of their concept art with AI.
Oh, see, this is how it gets out of control. It's a bad game of telephone, right? Not to put Nate on a thing, but Nate came in and thought that they took the awards away from Expedition 33, right? It's like, this is what it is. People don't have the full information, so they start saying things, and then because we have the internet, right? Because in the past, if you didn't know something, you said it to your friend, be like, no, that's not what it was. It didn't spread to thousands and tens of thousands and millions of people. But now anybody on the internet can get a hold of something, spread bad information, and then it spreads like cancer, okay? And then everybody doesn't understand, and they don't know what's real anymore. And then it kind of blurs the lines of, oh, well, now they're backtracking and whatnot. You know what I mean? These are people that just don't understand the nuances of what's been said. They don't understand what they're hearing, let alone what they're seeing.
Then it turns into they're just going to fire the employees who don't use it each step further.
That's because you're normal, Nate. That's because you're normal. Nobody looks at stuff like that. And if people do look at that, there's something wrong with you. You should just play something, watch something, read something, not because of anything else, but you're interested in the actual story.
Further from reality than the last, but said with that much more confidence every single time. Other games journalists then jumped in to keep the momentum going. Gene Park, for example, threw more fuel on the fire by dragging Sandfall into it, saying that the Expedition 33 team freely admitted to using AI after the game just won one of the biggest hauls in Game Awards history. And from there, the discourse just completely detaches from reality. We end up with some of the most aggressive virtue signaling imaginable. Claims that Larian and Sandfall were engaging in technology that specifically harms black communities for...
What? What? It's so harmful to the environment and black communities and steals art from real people. Do you see how deranged these people are? Do you see how deranged these people are? This is why, this is the only thing I don't like. This is what I don't like about the internet, okay? And because everyone, including myself, can have a YouTube channel and then say whatever you want, okay? Sometimes people say really dumb things, okay? Harmful to the environment of black communities. What does this have to... How do you turn something of AI being used and then take a race, okay, and bring it in and say, well, this is really detrimental to them? Like, what are we talking about? We need to stop. We need to stop talking about stuff like this. We need to stop putting a spotlight on these idiots, unless you call them fucking idiots, because that's what they are, okay? Fucking idiots like this need to stop being projected on the internet to tell other people, right? You just say there was a person, okay, that said something fucking stupid, and here it is, right? And then move on.
For reasons that were never clearly explained, but very confidently asserted anyway. Then we have the next logical escalation, and them being labeled fascist, with an alleged former employee coming forth claiming that Larian Studios employed...
Let me back up here for a second. This person right here, I would make sure they're blocked and never seen again. So it never comes across my feed ever again. And then anybody that comments and agrees with that person, that's an actual absolute moron, I would also block, and so I would never see it. I would filter through and I would never see them again because they're idiots.
Technology that specifically harms black communities for reasons that were never clearly explained, but very confidently asserted anyway. Then we have the next logical escalation, and them being labeled fascist, with an alleged former employee coming...
Former Larian employee claims sexual assault at workplace. Okay.
Claiming that...
Feels like a good time to talk about this when Larian employee outright fascists and refused to fire him. over COVID, one of the engineers radicalized. Next time we saw him, he was also watching Tim Pool videos in his office and telling us about the culture of Marxism and work drinks and the whole 9 yards. After a while, he had a little cohort, freaks and shards, some of his sentiments. Everyone was uncomfortable with this guy. Folks went to Swen and said, hey, this guy is a weirdo fascist. He's making everyone uncomfortable. He's at odds with the team's values. Was this at a party or is this at the actual studio? Swen's response, he's invaluable to the team. It's too hard to replace him this close to release. Naturally, the vibes got worse. Hanging out to lunch now sucks because these guys might bring up bigotry. Like complaining about Argon is black in the new MTG crossover set. And there's a lot of minorities on the team. Yet bigots around the studio sweat. I really don't think... I'm reading what I'm reading this, and it's someone that just doesn't understand and is just butthurt about the littlest things, right? See, it's okay if you like something and I don't like what you like, but to extremely go to the other side and say, well, because he watches this or does that or says this, that this is what he is. Do you know what I mean? This is not the full story. This is he said, she said type of thing.
Larian Studios employs outright fascists, going further to allege that they were assaulted at work and nobody did it.
Assaulted. They were assaulted, physically assaulted. Is that true? Or they felt assaulted? They felt endangered.
Anything about it and account
because someone was watching a Tim Pool video. Yeah.
Mind you, that was immediately deactivated after they made these claims.
Oh, deactivated right after. Well, it must be true then. Or did they delete it because they felt endangered?
Now, I want to remind you guys, by the way, that all this is tracing back to a single tweet, a tweet that was sourcing itself from a Bloomberg article with almost none of these subsequent claims being grounded in anything that was actually...
You know what's funny? Starts with this earlier. The media does the narrative type of stuff, right? So someone says this about the company and everyone else kind of gets on board. They didn't want to come out beforehand and say this happened. They waited for the moment for something else for Larian Studios to be criticized about. And they're like, oh, by the way, I worked for the company and this is what happened and this is what the thing said. And then when someone pushes against it, they take down the entire post. Tell me it's not a narrative. Tell me it's not a narrative. Tell me it's not created to spin something.
Actually said the specific allegation that was doing the most damage was that Larian is using generative AI to develop concept art. That's where most of this anger is coming from. That's the line that people latched onto. And the problem is that's not what was said at all. Something that I only realized after I dug deeper myself, because I thought it was strange when Sven Vinka stepped in and angrily responded to the backlash himself directly, saying that, holy fuck, guys, we are not pushing hard for or replacing concept artists with AI, with inflection on pushing hard. I then tracked that line back to its source and found the...
Right. Well, this is another thing, right? A lot of people read this and they don't look at it. See, we read between the lines here as well. Okay. And obviously Sven's saying, pushing hard, putting in quotes, saying like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Okay. Holy fuck, guys. We're not pushing hard for replacing concept artists with AI. We have a team of 72 artists, of which 23 are concept artists, and we're hiring more. The art they created is original, and I'm very proud of what they do. I was asked explicitly about the concept art and our use of generative AI, and I answered that, and I used to explore things. I didn't say that we use it to develop concept art. The artists do that. And this is indeed the world-class artist. Okay? But see, people don't read this, right? They just know what they know, and they don't see anything else.
With inflection on pushing hard. I then tracked that line back to its source and found the Bloomberg article written by everybody's favorite games journalist, Jason Schreier, where he had
Baldur's Gate 3 maker promises Divinity will be the next level. This is the one that's going to be way better than Baldur's Gate 3, Larian CEO Vex said. Okay.
Paraphrase.
I can't stand a lot of these journalists. I read their articles because we have conversations, but I can't stand most of these articles, like the people that write those articles, because they have a narrative.
The interview between the two of them with a line writing, Under Vinca, Larian has been pushing hard on generative AI, although the CEO says that the technology has not led to big gains in efficiency. He says that there won't be any AI-generated content in Divinity. Everything is human actors. We are writing everything ourselves, but the creators often use AI tools to explore.
Right there. That's where people often use AI tools to explore ideas. How dare you? How dare you? And it doesn't matter what he says before or after that. They just know that AI tools explored ideas. Okay?
Ideas.
They stop reading after that.
Flesh out PowerPoint presentations, develop concept art, and write placeholder text.
Sarge has an actual list, Travis. He literally has a list.
Use of generative AI has led to some pushback at Larian, but I think this is a point everyone at the company is more or less okay with the way we're using it, Vinca said. That phrasing Schreier is using gives a very specific impression, one that paints Sven as forcing AI onto the company, onto its workers, and into their games. Schreier gloated later on Blue Sky, saying that if he...
There's the problem, right? On Blue Sky. There's where you know there's a narrative already. People on Blue Sky couldn't take the criticism and stuff on Twitter, so they had to go to a different platform. An echo chamber. See, Twitter's not an echo chamber. Twitter is a place for everybody to say whatever they want. But the people that went to Blue Sky, okay, and only use Blue Sky, don't like any kind of feedback or constructive criticism or freedom of speech. They just want to live in their own echo chamber.
Known that this article would have been so controversial, he might have expanded it to include the full transcript, to which he then posted.
Listen to this. Read what Jason Schreier posted here. If I had known that the 2 paragraphs about generative AI in my article today would be so controversial, I would have expanded them a bit. Why didn't you put them in the article? Rough transcript of related portions of the interview with Sven. Okay, so everyone has the context. Why didn't you put it in the article?
Post the full transcript, and I'm going to read it to you guys just to prove how bad faith this framing is and how ridiculous all of this is. Schreier starts with, speaking of efficiency, you spoke a bit about generative AI, and I know that's been a point of discussion on the team too. Do you feel like it can speed up production? Sven responds, in terms of generation, like white boxing, yes, there are things, but I'm not 100% sure you're actually seeing speed ups that much. You're trying more stuff, having tried stuff out. I don't actually think it accelerates things because there's a lot of hype out there. I haven't seen, oh, this is really going to replace things. I haven't really seen that yet. I've seen where you get initially excited, oh, this could be cool, and then you say, in the end, it doesn't really do the thing. Everything is human actors. We're writing everything ourselves. There's no generated assets that you're going to see in the game. We're trying to use generated assets to accelerate white boxing, but I mean, to be fair, we're talking about basic things to help level designers. Schreier continues, what about concept art? Sven responds, so that's being used by concept artists. They use it the same way that they would use photos. We have like 30 concept artists at this point or something like that, so we bought a boutique concept art firm at the moment.
They bought a boutique concept art firm, but they're replacing concept artists.
That everybody was reducing them because they were going to AI. In our case, it just went up. If there's one thing that artists keep asking for, it's more concept artists. But what they do is use it for exploration. Jason then says, the other thing that I've seen that being used for more and more is placeholders, stub dialogue. Sven responds, well, yes, so that depends on the scripter. In our case, what we do is white boxing, which means scripts put stub text in there. Some scripters will probably use ChatGPT. Some will write it themselves. It's really up to them. Schreier then says, but
right, they're placeholders, not replacing. They're placeholders.
You found that it's not actually speeding.
So when they take a piece of work, as a concept artist, let's say they haven't done something yet and they pass it over to someone else and someone's looking at it and it says forest or has a sketch design, but it's not the full actual forest. It's just what it is. They're like, oh, I see. So there's going to be a forest there. Yeah. Anyone that's done any kind of artwork would know this because even if you make a small little like label for a company, they'll be like, well, I want this and this and this and this and this. They tell you what they want. The artist then takes that, puts it on paper, and then they go, hey, while I'm making this, I just want to check with you. what do you think so far? Then the person that knows nothing about art will be like, yeah, but I said this, this, and this. Like, yeah, I know. I just want to make sure I'm going the right direction. So before I do the actual work, I just want to check. So here would be the stand-in of where the cow would be or the mountain would be. And they're like, yeah, okay, right? And then the final product, they actually make the thing and then turn it in.
Things up. It's just allowing for more experimentation. Sven responds, well, in a sense, it speeds things up because your experimentation is broader. But I mean, it's not as if the dialogues are suddenly being written faster. And on the contrary, it's not as if you're seeing the scripting going faster. What's happening is that there's just a lot more stuff being done. But I mean, if you've used ChatGPT, it helps.
Yeah, Sarge, it's just a front. It's just a front.
You organize things, get you a faster Jason interrupts until it screws up. Sven responds, right, you always have to alter it yourself. And I mean, I'm a non-native English, so it's easier for me to make my phrases without mistakes, so it helps with that. Jason responds to write your company emails. Sven responds, no. I mean, like putting it there to see, okay, this is a clean version of my text. So what's happening is I write with worse grammar now, and then I can use it to clean up my text, and then I have to go over it again and clean it up again. Schreier, that seems like it would take more time. Sven, yes, I know, but I have a feeling like my phrases are better. Schreier, your English is good. You don't really have to worry that much. Sven then goes on to say, I think experimentation, whiteboxing, some broader whiteboxing, lots and lots of applications and retargeting and cleaning and editing. These are things that just really take a lot of time. So that allows you to do more. So there's a lot of value in terms of the creative process itself. It helps you in doing things, but I haven't seen the acceleration. So I'm really curious to see, because there's a lot of studios that said this is going to accelerate. If you look at the state of the art of video games today, these are still in their infancy. Will they eventually be able to manage to do that at large scale? I don't know how much
Yes, it will.
data centers they're going to need to be able to do it. Jason responds,
Well, that'll change. That'll all change. What we're living today is going to be completely different in 5 years from now. What everyone's talking about now about AI is going to completely change down the road with quantum computing. Completely change.
it doesn't seem like it's causing more efficiency, so why use it? Sven responds, this is a tech-driven industry, so you try stuff. You can't afford to not try things, because if somebody else finds the golden egg and you're not using it, you're dead in this industry. Schreier responds, okay, but the downside is that it's so poisonous, controversial to players, to artists, to creative people in a way that other tech isn't. Maybe Photoshop used to be back in the day? Sven closes with, I think you'd find the same argument back in the days for a lot of things, right? Anything that has been automated has always been considered. I think that's part of the job, to make sure that you are competitive in state of the art. So if you don't look at the state of the art, you will eventually regret it. That's going to be even worse for the developers. These rat fuck journalists.
Yep. That's a perfect terminology right there. Rat fuck. Yeah.
I'm so beyond disgusted right now. None of this context was shared in the article or in...
That's right. Scumbag journalist. I don't care if it's Jason Schreier or not. You didn't put it in the actual article. You interviewed someone, left it out, and I know it happens all the time, but don't you think the context of what was there would have been pertinent inside the actual article about AI?
Any of the drama that we've seen online. And man, would this context have gone a really, really long way.
100%.
Oh, man, if I would have known this article would have been so controversial, I would have actually shared the context of the conversation that I had and maybe have written the article the right way. How do you get out of anything that Sven said?
Yeah. So now it goes into, I'll read Jason Schreier's articles in the future, but now everything is tainted, right? Now everything is tainted. Okay, because I don't know if he's leaving stuff out. Now the trust has been broken from it's poisoned the well, right? So now, how do I know when an article is being written if they're holding stuff back that's pertinent to the actual conversation, of the context of the actual thing? What did he say in the article? He read it to you on the stream.
As Sven being hard on AI. Pushing hard on AI. Using it for concept art. Getting rid of concept artists. The dude even says, and this is the part that disgusts me the most because it only comes out now. I'll be honest, I'm probably going to be the only person that's talking about this right now. They bought an art firm.
Yeah, they bought an art firm, right? And yet they're saying they're going to take jobs away from concept artists, but yet they bought a fucking concept art firm.
They bought a concept art firm. He literally says, if there's one thing that my artist asks for, it's more artists. He goes out and gets it for him. They're using AI like it's a toy. Something to just get the juices flowing. Like they're looking at Google images or looking at things on Pinterest. He brings up white boxing, which makes it really difficult for people that are not in the games industry to fully understand. It's essentially like concept design. You're thinking about where object placement could go. They're basically...
Right. You put a circle or a triangle or whatever else in the thing so you know what the framing of it is.
Just using random shapes to come up with an idea of what a level could look like well before the level itself is ever even designed. It's essentially the same thing that they're doing for their writing as well, for their conversations and dialogue. They're essentially just using ChatGPT for formatting. Man, they blew this thing wide open. And the entire time, Schreier is trying to bait this into the most... in the worst way possible. It's so poisonous. It's so terrible.
This is exactly why I like reading articles online, because every article I read online is that many less people that actually have to click on that article, right? Because if it's a shitty article or if it's a great article, it doesn't matter, okay? It's about a talking point, and these people are doing clickbait titles. They don't actually format their articles correctly. They just bullshit their entire way through certain things, right? So it's my service to read the article and share it amongst other people so they don't have to waste their time reading the article.
So controversial. Everybody hates it. Why would you use it? Because if they don't use it, they could lose their company.
Mr. Z says, did you hire a professional gifted artist to draw a triangle? If not, you're trash. Exactly.
Because they don't know if the technology is worth anything or not. They have to test it and try it and see if it works. He even says that he's not even sure if it's going to work.
I wonder if people are upset with people that use templates, right? So let's say you're a wood guy, right? You craft with wood. Yet you're making customized pieces for people, and you're like, you know what? I don't want to waste this mahogany wood that costs a lot of money. Before I take one blade or one chisel to this thing, I'm going to make a template out of a piece of paper. And you go to the computer, you get the template that you want, and then you do it out, and then you put it on the thing, and you kind of trace it, and then you start chiseling away. I wonder if they're mad at that because they use some sort of other device to be an artist. I wonder. Probably not.
Himself. He said it multiple times, but somehow he's hard on AI right now.
I wonder if they're mad at artists. You know when they do those big boards, okay? I don't know if a lot of people know this, but they make the art on a smaller translucent piece of paper, and they put on a projector, and they project it on a wall. Because back in the day, what they would do is they would draw the picture first, okay? Then they put grids on it, okay? And then they would number the grid. And then they would make that grid again on the big wall. And then they would go back and paint the actual thing. This is what they did in the past. But the future now, they take a projector and they just put it on the wall, and then they just trace it. They just trace it because it's easier that way.
I can't believe that people actually let themselves get so worked up over something that's largely not even real. And all of this has just been perpetuated by artists and journalists on the internet because they're the ones that are the most at risk right now from, granted, the misuse of this technology, but also the proper use of it if you're not good at your job. This is not like Activision going out and selling microtransactions that are essentially just grok images. That's not the same thing at all.
Right. What Call of Duty did is completely different than what Larian and Expedition.
And I think that's indicative of the work from these companies. Look at Expedition 33. Look at Baldur's Gate 3. It's not like these games are suddenly the worst games in the entire industry now. These companies have not meaningfully changed in any way, except for the narrative that people are essentially projecting onto them. These companies that are making good games are not the enemy here. And I think that it's time for people.
But they are Legendary Drops. They are. They are the enemy because the narrative has been blown away. Okay? The narrative of AAA studios $350 million budgets with 10,000 people, with $80 prices. All of that is completely blown out of the water because of companies like Larian, companies like Expedition, the game Expedition 33, Sandfall.
People to wake up to that. Just last weekend, both Larian Studios and Sandfall Entertainment were coming off of near universal praise at the Game Awards. Sandfall all but swept the entire show, with Expedition 33 landing as one of the best games this year. Larian, meanwhile, announced Divinity, the pseudo-sequel reboot of their original series, something that people have been begging for since Baldur's Gate 3 took over the industry. And that's not an exaggeration, by the way. Baldur's Gate 3 still isn't talked about in the past tense. More than 2 years after its release, it's still averaging over 60,000 concurrent players on Steam every single day and just crossed 20 million copies sold. That kind of staying power does not happen by accident. Both Expedition 33 and Baldur's Gate 3 have come to represent something that players have been missing. Games that feel like games again. No trend chasing, no monetization nonsense, just confident, well-made titles that put the craft first and remind people why we fell in love with video games. For a brief moment, all that goodwill was real, and then it just vanished almost overnight. The moment that this conversation shifted towards AI, the most volatile topic in this industry, both studios were treated like villains. That tone had flipped almost instantly. Praise turned to suspicion, admiration turned into accusation. After a full day of the internet spiraling, Sven Vinka finally returned to respond again, saying, "It's been a full week since we announced Divinity, our next RPG, and a lot has become lost in translation. Larian's DNA is agency. Everything we work towards is to the benefit of our teams, games, and players, a better workday and a better game. Our success has come from empowering people to work in their own way and bring the best out of their skills and crafts so that we can make the best..."
Sarge says, what? They know how many copies of the game is sold? How is that possible?
RPGs we can possibly make. In that context, it would be irresponsible for us not to evaluate new technologies. However, our processes are always evolving, and where they are not inefficient or fail to align with who we are, we will make changes. To give you more insight, we will do an AMA featuring our different departments after the holiday break, in which you will get the opportunity to ask us questions you have about Divinity and our dev process directly. A measured response, transparent, open to scrutiny, and somehow that still isn't enough. You still had people that were responding with takes like, "Bro is taking a break, could have been an easy win just by going, you made your..."
Tidy wire, gone. Gone. Would never listen to him again.
"Selves clear, we overstepped, and we will ensure..."
Idiot. Moron.
"To not use infringement models in the future. Merry Christmas." But instead, a refusal to apologize and shifting blame onto us, Lamau. Why would Larian want to capitulate to this crowd? Why would they want to bend over backwards to appease people that project the worst intentions possible onto them at every single turn? All that would do is just signal allegiance to some of the most bad faith actors online, people who do not care about Larian, do not care about their games, and don't even care about reality. One, who is us, and where exactly are they trying to shift the blame onto the audience in that response? These are the last people that Larian should ever try to appease, because this is the kind of crowd.
These people probably didn't even play the game. They probably didn't even play the game.
Crowd that survives on endless purity tests, constant filtering, cannibalizing, and turning on itself. Bending to that pressure will not resolve anything. All it's going to do is just guarantee more of the same treatment down the road. The smarter thing they can do right now is ignore that noise, listen to the people that are actually playing your games, keep the dialogue open, and keep making games that people want to play. Sven is absolutely right in his response, giving your developers agency, the ability to choose, to experiment, to try new technologies, and then just drop it if it doesn't help. This is how good studios operate. And look, I fully understand why people are so concerned about AI. I've talked about it at length before, especially in the context of PC hardware, the whole crisis that's going on over there right now, how these companies are using the explosive growth of this technology to dissolve ownership, consolidate wealth, buy up land, and cause real damage to the job market. Those are valid concerns, but this conversation is almost always framed as a false binary, this or that, all or nothing, with no space left in between. And that ignores two very important realities. First, we genuinely do not know how far this technology will evolve or where it's going to plateau. And second, the worst outcomes that we're seeing.
You know, here's the funny part. Here's the funny part. It'll take one game, not a million games, right? Not 19,000 games. It'll take one game to come out that uses 100% AI and people like it, and the entire thing just crumbles down. Okay? One game comes out and makes a good game in AI. An actual game using AI. 100% AI comes out and it's 100% a fantastic game, and everyone's mind just like, oh, I don't care. It's a good game. That's it.
Right now are not coming from the tools themselves, but from reckless, profit-driven expansion being pushed by billionaires and corporations at the top. Now, at least from my perspective, and I understand that there are going to be some people that are going to disagree with me on this. That's the best part about being able to watch a YouTube video. You guys get to see some different perspectives on things. I think that this always comes down to intent and implementation, especially in the games industry. It's not about what a company is using. It's about why they are using it. If a AAA studio's only goal is just to make the same game they've always made, just cheaper and faster, if their sole focus is just increasing their revenue at any cost, that mindset is going to show up in the final product, and that final product will likely fail. We have already seen this play out. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is probably going to...
Game's a game. Make a game, sell a game. Make a game, sell a game. Put it out there if you have AI into your actual game, okay? So people can make the choices if they want to support the game or not, okay? But make a game, sell a game. Good games last. Bad games go away.
Be the clearest example that we've ever seen of this. AI tools were not used to make a better game or to improve the working conditions of their developers. They were used to rush a product to market and sell smoke to their players. The writing suffered, the content suffered, even things like the generated AI calling cards and cosmetics are going to become emblematic of how hollow of an experience that game is. And now it's likely going to be one of the worst selling Call of Duties of all time, with an 82% sales drop on Steam.
Again, this I don't like this either, because the media. Okay, if you're gonna use this by Jamie Davis, this goes in the exact same category to me as Jason Schreier, because they're reporting on stuff they don't have the full context of. Jason Schreier didn't put the full context in the actual article. These people are talking about Call of Duty with not the full context. Okay, they don't know the sales on PlayStation 4 or 5. They don't know the Xbox One or Xbox Series S or X. They don't know how many people are playing it on Game Pass. They just know the Steam numbers, and Steam numbers are 82% crash. But again, to say this is the bigger thing that's the problem with Call of Duty, we don't know the Call of Duty sales, but yet they keep beating this drum that Call of Duty sold good or bad. It doesn't matter. We don't know because they don't share the actual info.
And a hole that Activision will likely not be able to climb out of. I mean, if we look at a lot of the criticisms that are being aimed at Expedition 33 right now, a lot of it's being centered on players discovering pre-generated asset holders, placement holders that weren't cleaned up before release. Things like flyers that were posted on the walls of Lumiere, scraps of old newspaper that were on the ground. And if you actually look at that game, you look at the world that Sandfall built, the story they told, the mechanical depth of that game, it's pretty obvious that those elements were not the point. And I know I'm being generous here, but even if some of that use was intentional, it didn't meaningfully impact the final product. Expedition 33 is still one of the most beloved games this year, which kind of proves the point that if the intention, talent, and implementation are in the right place, well, these tools can help artists realize their vision instead of undermining it. We talk a lot on this channel about the rise of AA and indie games, and we know how expensive and risky game development has become, and most of these developers take massive personal and financial risks just to even be able to get a game out the door, and most of these games fail. In 2025 alone, over 19,000 games released on Steam. My own Steam recap showed me that I had played 70 new games this year, which is a crazy number. Guys, I've been putting in some work, but that's not even 1% of the games that came out. A lot of that stuff is shovelware, sure, but there's also some great games that are buried in that pile that most people are never going to see. And as this market continues to get more competitive, as the bar continues to rise, the scope, polish, and ambition expected from a lot of these smaller teams is going to get borderline impossible without something there to be able to help them. Anything that can make them develop games.
Or just make a game, right? If your vision is your vision, and you use it with 100 people to make your vision, or your vision's your vision and you're one person and make the game with all AI, if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. Make a game, sell a game.
Games faster, easier, or simply just make them more feasible to make, especially for teams that are trying to punch well above their weight and actually survive, they're going to need stuff like this. I still have plenty of concerns for AI. That hasn't changed. It probably never will. But I also see it as a tool that in the hands of talented developers with the right intentions, it's going to let these guys reach far beyond what they'd normally be capable of. And if that means that I get better games, cheaper games, and more of them, then yeah, I'm going to be there for it.
Exactly right. It's exactly right. Right? The bad actors that use AI, like Activision's using, where they make their things and they charge you money for those banners or whatever else. And when you have people that are actually making a game, selling the game, if the game is good, nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to care. Again, from the very beginning of Laura Fryer's video, the sausage is good. If the sausage is good, I don't care how it's made. Okay? Are there people that care how it's made? Yes. Yes, there is. But guess what? Those people probably still buy the sausage. You know why? Because it's fucking good.
If using AI lets these smaller teams compete with AAA or gives me more games like Expedition 33 or Larian's next project somehow tops Baldur's Gate 3, well, then I want to see what that's going to look like. I can't believe people would see Larian come forward saying, we're going to do an AMA. You're going to be able to talk to all of our departments, ask our artists or whoever else any questions you have about our process or what the next game is going to look like. And somehow people want to respond to that with, you're deflecting. How is that deflecting? It's so crazy how...
We're going to answer all your questions. How dare you answer my questions? Like, what do you... You can ask us. We're going to tell you exactly what we're doing.
Far people will reach for engagement on the internet today. It's just too much for me, man. Especially because I would almost guarantee that the vast majority of the people that have been complaining about this entire thing with Baldur's Gate 3 or Expedition 33 likely never even played those games to begin.
Exactly right. The people that talk shit about it probably never even played these games and have no interest in playing these games. They just sit on top of their soapbox pretending they're about something, but they about absolutely nothing. They're fake. They're pretenders.
You already know that's the case. You already know that's the case. The thing that I want to make clear is when it comes to a lot of these AI tools, I think that sometimes people might misunderstand me when I talk about certain subjects. And I have no problem with AI as a tool. I have every problem with the way that a lot of these companies have been implementing those tools.
Sure.
How the rollout and the expansion of this side of the industry has gone, how much it's affected the economy, definitely, and how much more it's going to affect the economy in the future, as well as what it's doing to hardware and whatnot like that. But as a tool, I don't have any problem with it. If it empowers developers to be able to make better games, so be it. If it doesn't, let them decide that and let them be the ones to throw it away. I don't think that we need any of this moral crusading going on, trying to push these people away from this stuff if they feel like they're going to be able to find value in it to bring value to you.
You know what I think it is? I think a lot of people, it's the next thing to be angry about, right? Before it was physical to digital games. It's like, no, there needs to be physical games, right? And I've always said that there will until there's not. People are like, oh, I'm going to buy it. And I'm like, you are until you're not, because they're not going to put it out there, right? Now it's this, now that they're mostly digital, right? Now it's about AI or not AI, right? They just want to complain about something, even though as a customer, you get to choose what you want to play. You choose what you want to buy. You choose what you want to play, okay? As Astra was saying earlier, he said it was greed. I'm like, look, I think you're wrong on saying that they're greedy, because there's worse companies out there that are greedy compared to what Arrowhead's doing with Helldivers 2, okay? You get to choose if you want to buy that game, play that game, right? Whatever you want. You can say that I don't want to buy Expedition 33 because I don't like the company, okay? But to say that the game is shit because you don't like the company are two different things. The morals of your thing and the ethics of the thing, okay, are different than the actual product itself. If the product is good, people will play it. And if they play it, more people see it. And if more people see it, more people buy it, because good is good. Plain and simple. Bad is bad. Good is good. Okay? And you get to choose if you want to buy something that's good or buy something that's bad.
That's what my stance on it is. I feel the same way about a lot of different things. I mean, I feel the same thing about monetization in video games. I don't have a problem with microtransactions. I don't even have a problem with gotcha games. All I care about is how you are using that income, how you are using those tools, that monetization.
Right. I have no problem with microtransactions, but when you charge $25 for a microtransaction, and then you're also charging for the actual video game, and then the video game says, well, we can't make it. Like, what are you doing with your money? You know what I mean? When you're selling millions and millions of dollars of microtransactions on tops of hundreds, right? Or I'm sorry, tens of millions of copies, making hundreds of millions of dollars, what are you doing? That proves to me that you don't know what you're doing with your money, so I'm not going to give you my money. Because back in the day when you made a game and sold that game, you would make money off that and you would make the next game. You would make your next game based off of that game. Now they make the money. They just keep making the money. And then they're like, studio's closing. You're like, what the hell happened? It's the best game you've ever created. You've sold 10 million copies. Like, where did you spend your money on?
To be able to fuel a better product for the customer.
Exactly.
Is it a fair exchange? If it's not, then we need to have that discussion, obviously. But if they're using these tools in the right way, if they're doing it to be able to try to bring us better games, then I'm all here for it. Aren't you? Cat just like jumped down on the table.
Oh, it's like, who's he talking to?
I just think it's crazy how fast this story got out of control. I think it's really damaging the way that some of these writers want to dogpile on the topic of AI. There's not a single one of these guys that are interested in covering this topic with.
There's probably people freaking out right now. Catch a job with the computer. It's terrible for the computer.
With anything other than bad faith. It's going to be.
I wonder what the cat's thinking right now. He's like, he's talking to that screen again. I wish he would pay attention to me.
Very difficult for you to be able to find a writer that's talking about AI in a positive sense, or even trying to weigh the benefits between the benefits and the negatives of the use of this technology. In most cases, especially in games media, because these are the guys that are struggling with it the most right now, because they're likely the ones that are going to be replaced before any other writers, to be honest with you, especially when they're going out and they're not fully covering these topics the way they should, or correcting the story when they should. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys...
It's exactly right, Aku. Yeah. Cat's like, warm.
Did enjoy the video, like the video, subscribe to...
Well, technically it's not on. His computer's not on, so...
This channel. I would definitely share this video, because I think this is really important context to make sure that other people know. There was a lot that was said here that was not said in any of the arguments against Larian Studios or even Sandfall, and it needs to be said. People need to know this information, and the fact that people don't know it is really upsetting to me, because I love these companies' games, I love their intentions, and I have a very strong feeling that they are looking out for the rest of us. So I'm going to look out for them. Stay cool, stay righteous, stay safe. I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Look, the cat knows he's done. Did you see that? As soon as he said the words, the cat's like, oh, he's done. Yeah. Links in the description down below. If you like Legendary Drops, go check out his content. Like I said, links in the description down below.
Peace.
All right, so let's go to the last video, which is Soulframe from Aztecross. Yeah, a lot of people, man, they just say shit to say shit. They don't even truly believe in what they're saying. They're just saying it to get engagement on Twitter, right? To get YouTube clicks or whatever. They don't believe in what they say. There's hypocrites all over the place, okay? Like, if you truly think something is bad, then don't buy the game. If you don't like the content, then don't play the content. Don't watch the content. Don't read the content. All right. Next one is, this game feels different, okay? Waterbear posted this in the Discord. It's about Soulframe, the new Warframe, or I should say Digital Extreme's next game. I played a little bit of this over the summer. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Let's check it out.
Guys, I absolutely adore this game. This fantasy-inspired, mesmerizing game that Digital Extreme has been cooking now for quite some time. Now, it's been a year since we first jumped into this game, and even back then, we were blown away
Was it 10 months ago? No, it was 8 months ago.
what we saw and what we got to play, especially since the game was still in its pre-alpha stage. I had such a good time with it, guys. I had to do a...
Aku says 30. How many people next gen do you think will buy, even if it's probably going to be fully digital? Like the console? Like what are you asking? How many people will buy the next gen console, or the next people will buy the next gen where it's just the game itself? Like how many people next gen do you think will buy, even if though it's probably going to be fully digital? I mean, I can tell you right now, I'm not going to buy the next console. If I buy any console between now and whenever the next gen comes out, it would be the Steam Machine, which is a PC / console, whatever, like a console. But I'm not buying the next Xbox. I said this year one of Xbox when they came out, and I said they lied to us, right? I don't need to buy a PlayStation. I don't need to buy an Xbox. But yeah, I can still enjoy Xbox, so I don't need an next Xbox. So I don't think a lot of people. I mean, I've beaten this drum ahead of time. I said less and less people are buying consoles every single generation, and people argued with me, and yet here I am right again.
Full breakdown of Soulframe right then and there. What has blown me away though was how much Soulframe has progressed over the past 7 months. And for those that are interested in giving Soulframe a try, down below is a link to Soulframe.
Is Soulframe a single player game, or can you play with like people? Like is it a co-op game, or is it just solo?
Preludes. Digital Extremes was kind enough to sponsor one of our most recent streams, and they've also done so for today's video.
I only
Much
played
love to
solo,
them.
so I don't know.
Guys, we're going to be running through an update, if you will, of where Soulframe is at this very moment. We'll give you a brief intro into the game if you haven't played it, just to get everybody up to speed. We'll showcase some of the progress that it's made over the last few months, including the recent additions from the just released Preludes 12 update. We'll try not to glaze Jennifer.
It's pretty hard. It was pretty hard when I played it as well.
For English too much? Yes, she's in the game. Dee has worked her into the world, and our character Allura is absolutely magical. Now, what is Soulframe? This is essentially Digital Extremes fantasy action MMORPG. Very much like Warframe, but also different. It's not sci-fi, it's fantasy.
Oh, 100%, Aku. They'll play it because they want to. That's it. The morals go out the window when someone wants something, right? They'll say and talk a big game, but they'll... Perfect example of this, Aku, is when people, a bunch of YouTubers, said that Game Pass is bad. It's bad for the company. It's bad for the business. It's bad for gamers. And yet when they raised the price, these same people that said these things said that they're canceling their Game Pass, showing their cards, that them saying that Game Pass is terrible and Game Pass is bad and Xbox is terrible and they're closing down, and yet they said, oh, I'm canceling my Game Pass. It's like, did you even have it? Because you talked shit this entire time about the company, about the service, so I already thought you didn't have it. And yet now you said you're canceling it. So, hypocrite. These people just say it to say it. They don't believe what they actually say.
Its combat is a bit slower, and its world is completely open and absolutely massive. Matter of fact, for those of you that have actually played Warframe, which I'm sure many of you have, but a lot of folks have made comparisons between Soulframe and Duvari, and understandably so, considering the fantasy elements present in both. But Soulframe is its own game. It's its own identity, and you'll notice this when you first play it, guys. Yes, it has a lot of similarities with some of the core things that made Warframe such a good game, but it's its own identity. From the magical abilities to the melee combat itself, the fact that the world
the melee combat felt really good.
Is also less instance and essentially just features this giant open world to explore. Guys, just look at the scale of this pre-alpha.
I also like this because of this as well. So when I played the beta, early access, I forget what it was, right? I played it. It almost reminded me of Elden Ring, which I loved about the open world where I can go around and explore and then just get into fights here and there. That's what brought me in
stage map. And let me just say, this is more than quadrupled in size over the last few months. The themes here are very much nature and animal inspired. There's a heavy focus on exploration and discovering the history of this world. Now, instead of this game having frames, it actually has something called packs, which are very similar to frames, but they're essentially these different arms that you can swap out that will give you access to unique abilities and skill trees. And this greatly alters the way you play the game. And you can further customize.
Is this going to be the same as their last game with Warframe? Is this going to be a free-to-play game with the microtransactions like Warframe, or are they charging to play this game?
By changing up your armor, your weapons, upgrading those weapons with skills. And I'm sure some of this to my Warframe players looks very familiar, and that's because it is similar in terms of gameplay loop. You go out, you do quests, you explore, you find crafting recipes and resources, then you come back to your hub, you craft those new pieces, you craft weapons, packs, to then use and level up to make them even stronger. And just like Warframe, Soulframe is co-op. It is an MMO. And
Oh, see, chat, I shouldn't have asked you. I should have just waited for Aztecross to tell me. Yes, exactly the same monetization or monetizing, free to play, waiting for build things and stuff. Okay, gotcha.
and it will be completely free to play. And that's one thing I really love about these, that when they say, hey, this game is free to play, it is truly free to play. But currently right now, guys, there is a ton of content to play, and each Prelude release expands upon that content. It adds more new things to do, new systems to interact with, and brand new mechanics. There's a storyline to follow as you're introduced to the world, and its introduction of characters, which you bring back to your hub.
I like Warframe, so when this game comes out, when it fully launches, we'll probably play it on stream, and if anyone wants to play and hang out with us as we play, you can do that.
To build up, which can I just say is one of the most satisfying things I've ever experienced in a game. At any moment, you can snap and boom, you are in your own personal hub, loaded down with the NPCs that you've acquired via quests. Now, the open world is full of enemies, full of ruins, tons of towns, quests, puzzles, collectibles, little musical mini games, encampments, hidden
It's coming to console. I played it on PC originally, though, Nate.
chess, and my favorite, world bosses. Now, for my players that are really trying to dive deeper into quote-unquote in-game,
Krabby says, I honestly hated Warframe when I played it. Krabby, when did you play it? I played it originally when it first came out, and I made a video. It's actually one of my first videos I've ever created on YouTube. It's not on YouTube anymore, but I said that you hit a wall when you played that game, and like it was very much different than it was 13 years ago, 14 years ago. Right? It came out like a year before Destiny. It was like 2013, I think, is when I played it. 2013, 2014. I think it was 2013. Late 2013 or early 2014 is when I played it. But I didn't like it at first, but then it like grew on me. So when did you play it? Did you play it recently? Or did you play it like in the past?
there's 25 dungeons to find, and every time you explore these, they're different every time you enter, thanks to the game's procedural tile system. And that's one thing to note about Soulframe. Even the instance locations feel much more connected to the world, as they all fit the same architecture and location type of where you find them, at least so far. And when you leave...
So is that before the open world stuff they added?
You're immediately spit right back out into the open world to continue exploring. No load screens, no menus, nothing that breaks that immersion. If there's one thing that I feel like games are really missing,
I agree, Eclipse. If you just play Warframe for the story, it's worth it.
especially today, is the ability to just stumble upon things while out in the open world. We have a generation of games that's constantly pushing us into one menu after another, and it's a breath of fresh air here to experience what D is cooking here with Soulframe, where yes, around that corner could be the entry point to a dungeon or potentially a raid in the future. Now, if you've already played Soulframe, you're probably just wondering, okay, Cross, what has changed so far? I played a few months ago. Where are we at now? Well, there's been a lot of new additions.
I wonder if we'll have a debate or a talk about PvP in this game, or if it's just PvE.
And changes to Soulframe since we last covered it. Now, I do want to mention that this game is still unfinished, but man, D is just constantly adding more and more stuff, which continues to scale the game upwards. And at some point, we just need to look into Digital Extremes and figure out how the hell they are able to pump out these level of updates between two full-blown games, that being Soulframe and Warframe, at the same time, and still
Maybe they're using AI. Maybe they're using AI.
remaining free to play. Now, the first major one of the updates, though, that hit
I mean, there's PvP in Warframe. No one plays it. And when I say no one, there's very few people that play it.
Soulframe is what really ties into the onboarding experience. Preludes 12 revamped the opening of the game entirely so that it's much more understandable, and it explains a lot more of the game's systems while you progress through the beginning. It introduces you to the Fog of War system, how to go about clearing
I haven't
it,
checked.
and probably most importantly,
Travis, did you
can
send
now
it?
test out the starting pack.
I don't know if you know this. It doesn't get lost in the mail. So if you sent it to me, I probably have it. I just haven't looked at it.
And weapons before choosing which one you would like to start with. And it is absolutely vital for a game to have a good onboarding experience, and I'm happy to see that Soulframe is really trying to nail theirs. Now, in terms of the additions to packs or the game's classes, I think when we last played, there were a total of 7 packs that existed. Now there is 11 in total. Some you obtain from certain quest lines, and then some are tied to factions. And each of them offer up different playstyles with their own unique abilities, perks, and skill trees, and they can be leveled to rank 30. So you've got a lot of progression with these alone. And in terms of potency, hot damn does it scale when you level it up. One of the coolest packs that I just recently unlocked though is the Bromius pack. Fellas,
can I still play this? Or is it only open to a certain amount of people?
you've got abilities here that literally turn you into a bear. Or at least it gives me an ability that makes me look like a bear for just a moment. This is a really cool new pack. I don't know how long it's been available, but it wasn't in the game when I first played. And this is just one example how packs can really change your playstyle. Speaking of playstyles, we got to talk about the weapons.
I can still play it? I thought it was a limited time when it was out before.
There are 8 different weapon types, from bows to staffs to the newly added greatswords, with multiple types of each that you can find and craft, all with different stats and dope visuals, and some that have some pretty steep requirements just to be able to equip, but they reward you.
I can see it. I can see all the different war frames, the soul frames they're going to have. They're going to be epic.
Greatly if you meet those prerequisites. Now, different combinations can result in unique builds, and the depth only grows from there. They've since added sidearms, allowing you to equip a second weapon alongside your primary. Totems came next in Preludes 11, allowing you to charm the
Once you have access, you always have? Okay.
beasts of the open world to gain passive boons for your weapons, and then came runes, an equipable and powerful active ability that depends on your weapon type and can be earned by defeating named sub-bosses in the world. Now, you can save up to 4 loadouts now, so you can easily swap between different builds. And they even added transmog in the form of bestitching.
I was getting my ass
allows you
kicked.
to change the appearance of your armor while keeping its stats, so you can now play Fashion Frame in Soulframe. Now, one of the biggest criticisms Soulframe has had from its community has been its
Compared to Avowed, this combat looks like trash.
difficulty, or a lack thereof. So in response, alongside Prelude 12,
Mr. Z, all of a sudden, someone in chat's going to be like, this mother...
D released a player-triggered challenge called the Koga. Here you'll have to craft a special mushroom brewed elixir to access this new challenge. And consuming it will activate basically hard mode out in the open world. It turns the sky red, it gives you debuffs, and it skyrockets the enemy levels up to 30 and above. And as you defeat enemies, they'll continuously grow even stronger. Now, this also powers up world bosses, allowing you to obtain unique drops from when they're defeated. And once the Koga begins, the only way to end it is if you die, or you flat out run away from a fight, which ends the challenge due to your cowardice. Now, you can join up with your friends to try to tackle this challenge as a team, and I would recommend that. But I think this is such an interesting thing that D is at it, and I'm doing everything I can to get to the point where I can activate this for myself, but I'm gonna need a squad to get that hot carry, so hit your man up. Overall, guys, Soulframe truly is such a unique game. Don't get me wrong, like
Aku says, 30, did you have a section there that had you make actions for music like Windmaker or Oracle or Jesus Christ, because of, I sense a lawsuit? You mean in the game? Did they have a thing? They had something to play music, yeah.
love sci-fi, I love shooters, but
I don't think they get a lawsuit. I think they're
deep
fine.
down, I get truly lost in fantasy worlds because that's what they are, fantasy. And Soulframe just continues to grow more and more. I cannot recommend this game enough, guys. Yes, it will be free to play. Currently, right now, you'll have to become a founder to get instant access to the game, and you'll get access to specific...
See, I wasn't a founder. I got invited to it. Wait, Eclipse, did you... I think Eclipse gave me a code. So I wasn't a founder. That's why I asked if I could still play.
packs depending on your choice of Founder Edition. But what
Because I didn't do a founders pack.
love about this is that if you are a founder, you're able to give out a bunch of codes to your friends, which really is the best way to play this game. Sure, you can play
See, I have all these questions. I could just wait for him to answer them.
completely solo, but playing with the squad truly is the DE experience. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching.
So because because didn't you give me a code Eclipse? I could have sworn, I was like, the founders pack is new, like just this month. So if I wasn't a founder, but I was in it beforehand, I can still go back and play it now. I could have sworn that Eclipse gave me yes, I was a founder and I had codes to give to people. What's made you a founder? Gotcha. Okay, because I played it back in like May. It was like May or something like that.
And as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.
That looks good. It looks good. I'm excited. I'm excited about that game. I like Warframe, but Warframe was very, very, again, it was bad timing. I played it first. It was like hitting a wall when you first played Warframe. And then I played Destiny, fell in love with Destiny, and that was it. The more I played Destiny, the less I played Warframe. Brainchild used to always try to bring me in and played. He played with me multiple times. I have quite a few hours. I want to say about between 50 and 60 hours inside of Warframe. I liked it, but it just never hooked me. And I haven't really been back. I haven't been back since they did the open world, which was like 3-4 years ago. I haven't really gone back and played it. There's so many other games coming out that I play, that I like, that I enjoy, or whatever. Right? So, all right. Let me see what's going on. Yeah, it's like Warframe 1.0. Wait a week in certain things, and it killed the game. All right, let me see. Travis, I got the exact same thing you sent me at 8 o'clock this morning, which was the Exodus breakdown. Is that the thing you're talking about? All right, let's see here. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. So we have stuff to talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be our last show for the until after the Christmas break. Your Discord's being weird lately. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that. My dog was barking, and it sounded like someone was on the property. So that's exactly what it was. But it's okay. Let's see. Seriously, 30 Warframe with Transformers. I mean, that's basically what Transformers was, right? And we're never going to get it. And we're never going to get it. Talked about that all the time. I said, man, if Transformers came out, they were going to sell the Transformers like Warframes. All right, let me see what's going on here. If there's any news on Twitter. Ghost of Yote Dev Studio head is leaving and doesn't know what he'll do next. Oh, okay. So that's gone. More games like Mafia Old Country, please. What else we got going on here? Oh, have you guys seen the guy? I don't know his YouTube channel. I'll have to remember it. He's a cinematographer, street cinematographer in real life. And he goes inside Arc Raiders and he asks strangers if they'll be basically his talent. And he like recreates scenes inside the actual game. Like he just did Batman, stuff like that. And they're really small, like little shots. But my God, like what a cool little concept this man's doing for his YouTube channel. It's very interesting. Cole Carnage says early access release for Amberville is summer of 2026. Battlefield 6 fans suspect EA uses generative AI in the cosmetic pack for the shooter. I would literally prefer to have no sticker than some low-quality AI-generated garbage. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, chat. What's going to happen? Battlefield 6 fans suspect that EA used generative AI in the cosmetic packs. Say it ain't so. So what's going to happen now, chat? The people that were forefronting for Battlefield 6, if it's true, again, I'm not reading the article, but if it's true, and people love Battlefield 6 and it's the greatest game ever made by EA, do you think they care? I don't think they care. I think they're still going to play the game. I think they're still going to play the game. I don't think they're going to care. Battlefield 6 is the greatest game ever. AI, they're like, it's like a vampire. Yeah, burn the witch. Burn the witch. Microsoft denies reports about increased profit margin goals at Xbox. Didn't they say that like a month ago, and now they're just coming out and denying it or whatever? Like what? What's happening? We'll put that in the thing tomorrow. You know what? We'll probably go. You know what? Let's put this in there too. Maybe we'll talk about the Battlefield 6 thing tomorrow. I'm just looking at stories for tomorrow. Argus says, I like AI, and if it ends up making good product, I don't care if the companies use it. I don't care about the modern day artists or the job or the ability to make money doing so. Yeah. No, I'm right there with you, Argus. I'm right there with you, right? If the product is good, it doesn't matter how it was made. Don't care. I don't care if companies are using crunch time. I don't care if they're have overtime. I don't care if they're using AI. I don't care. Is the game good? Does the game come out? Are they trying to screw me over on microtransactions and whatnot, right? And then as the customer, I go, I like it. I don't like it. I'm not going to buy it. I am going to buy it, right? Is it good? Is it bad? I don't care how it's made. Food is different than video games. If they're putting poison in the food and the food is killing me, then I would like to know what's in the food, right? Do I want to know if AI is being used? Sure, more information, the better. But is it going to kill me in any way, shape, or form? Probably not. Let's see. Listed all departments. What the fuck are we talking about? Let's see what else. Kojima wouldn't be in the industry without Super Mario Brothers. Okay. I gotta watch that trailer. Oh, I watched the first episode of the Fallout season 2. It's good. It's good. I like it. It looks like the only people that can make movies and shows now are Nolans. Let's see. Paul Tassi says this is one of the very second examples of very tangible punishment for AI use. Polygon says Indie Game Awards rescinds Claire Obscure's Game of the Year wins over use of generative AI. Yeah, that's a witch hunt. That's a witch hunt. Working out or too early to say. I don't think they've shared. I don't think they've shared the viewership, have they? I mean, let me see. Let's see if there's news stories. Screen Rant fall season audience score debuts with Rotten Tomato over a record-following premiere episode. It doesn't say the viewership. There's no... It's got a high score, but it doesn't say the viewership. So I would think it's too soon. I didn't watch it. I hear great things about it. PS5, I haven't watched it. I didn't get to see it in theaters. I know my wife wants to watch it, so maybe over the holidays we'll watch it if it's out. Like, is it already out on streaming services? I don't know if it is. Let me see. F1. Let's see. F1. Where to watch? Apple TV, Amazon Prime, YouTube. Yeah, so it's already out. So yeah, we'll probably watch it this holiday break. I hear good things about it though. Roic says I started watching Fringe again. Such a good show. Oh, that's not good, Travis. Altern says, or you can go to Sail the Seas and watch it there, the Jack Sparrow way. No, I don't do a lot of that stuff. Altern, I'm okay purchasing and watching stuff. I'm okay. Good movies I'll pay for. Shitty movies like Borderlands 4 that was put on YouTube and not taken down for days and days. I'll watch that. And I didn't go out to try to find that illegally, right? Someone posted on YouTube and I just watched it. All right, it's past 12. All right, we'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, to play some video games. We might play some Wayfinder tonight if we're not playing Lord of the Rings tonight. If Aku is available, I'll play some Lord of the Rings. If he's not available, we'll play some Wayfinder. Anybody that wants to join in Wayfinder tonight, we can play that. Appreciate it very much. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you'd like to go above and beyond that. Become a member as little as $5. Jay Breeza says, why you remind me of Borderlands movie? It's terrible. It's a terrible movie. Eclipse says, I'm a proud pirate. I'm not judging anybody that does the pirate stuff. I'm just saying I don't want to do it. That's all. On certain things, maybe, but I'll just go buy it if I want to watch a movie. I try not to watch shitty movies. I try not to pay money for shitty movies, but sometimes, you go see Marvel films the last 4 years, 5 years. But anyway, you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. I appreciate you very much. We'll be back tonight for some games over on 30 and Still Gaming, and we'll be back for the last episode tomorrow morning for the Daily Grind until after the break, until next week. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Dashing through the quest on my favorite RPG. Loot drops all the way. What will I get today? Epic sword in sight, or a rare pet just for me. Oh, what fun it is to play and see what loot I'll see. Loot box under the tree. Open it and hope for rarity. Oh, what fun it is to play and get that epic today. Hey, loot box under the tree. Shiny skins and weapons for me. Oh, what joy it is to play and find that loot this holiday. Yeah, yeah. Christmas lights are bright. My inventory's a mess. New DLC tonight. Gotta see what's the best. Golden gems I'll claim in this winter wonderland spree. Oh, I hope RNG gives me that legendary key. Loot box under the tree. Open it and hope for rarity. Oh, what fun it is to play and get that epic today. Hey, loot box under the tree. Shiny skins and weapons for me. Oh, what joy it is to play and find that loot this holiday. Yeah, 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 oh. PvP battles call, raids to conquer all. With my friends online, we'll party through the night. Loot box under the tree. Open it and